It's a very, very sad day today. I've got two pieces of sad news for you. One, Project Playtime, the multiplayer Poppy Playtime game from Mob Entertainment, is officially being cancelled. Servers are going to be shut down for that game, and we're going to talk about that. But two, and much worse, depending on who you ask, I'm back from my vacation. And now you have to deal with me. Yes, it's a very, very sad day. Project Playtime has been officially cancelled by Mob. I'm not going to read through the post. It essentially says the usual corporate speak for when a game is cancelled. Game cancelled, very sad, but don't worry, next thing will be better. Every studio does this. I'm not even saying this is a bad thing, by the way. Every studio does this when a game's cancelled. They always try and frame it in a positive way. They always try and make it seem like this is the best thing and that you should be excited for the next thing that's coming, which I actually think you probably should be. And I do want to talk about that in this video. But, it is corporate speak. It's corporate speak for the game didn't do so well. It's now being cancelled. Now, before we all start saying
the sky is falling, the world is over, Chapter 5 was terrible because Markiplier said so, and now Project Playtime's being cancelled. Mob Entertainment, they're gonna close? Is this the end of Poppy Playtime? Is Tericho out of a job?
It's fine. It's fine. I've already been covering other games anyway. It's fine. No, I'm kidding. Before we get really mad, and before we all lose our minds, I want to talk about this and I want to give my opinion on Project Playtime. Now, I am a member of the Partners in Crime program. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I'm going to say I think this needed to happen. I think Project Playtime, they tried something. I really respect what they tried to do. If you've never played Project Playtime, it was an asymmetrical horror game where one player plays as a toy, you could call them a monster or a killer, and the other players play as extraction specialists. You could call those survivors. The survivors run around the map trying to complete tasks, and once all their tasks are done, they can escape, and the killer is running around the map trying to kill everybody before they finish their tasks. That might sound a little bit familiar to you, and that's because, yes, the premise is pretty close to Dead by Daylight. This is something that a lot of games have tried before. Lots of games have tried to do the Dead by Daylight formula, the asymmetrical horror formula, and that genre, to be entirely frank, is kind of cursed. The amount of games that are made in this genre, which some of them really, really good, most of them end up failing. And I think there are several reasons why most of them end up failing, but one of the biggest reasons is that Dead by Daylight, the most well-known and most popular asymmetrical horror game, it just has such an iron grip on that genre. Like, why would people stop playing Dead by Daylight, a game that's been out for 10 years, with a huge roster of characters, with licenses like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Five Nights at Freddy's even? We need Poppy Playtime. We need Poppy Playtime in Dead by Daylight. Just saying, we need it. But why would people leave that game to come play Project Playtime? I think this is also a big reason why Project Playtime didn't do so well, because it didn't really bring in anybody new. It only brought in people who were already fans of Poppy Playtime, because again, why would you? If you were going to play an asymmetrical horror game, you'd play Dead by Daylight, right? And so the people who were playing Project Playtime are mostly just Poppy Playtime fans. But to be entirely frank, most Poppy Playtime fans, we're here for the story, we're here for the lore, we're here for the mystery, right? Most people are here who love Poppy Playtime, love it almost in spite of the mechanics, right? I know I don't want to listen. I know there was a whole thing about Markiplier saying Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 was trash. I don't agree. I think Chapter 5 was really good for a lot of reasons. Maybe I'll make a video about that one day. But even then, I really liked Chapter 5, but this series isn't so loved because of its gameplay, because of its mechanics. It's loved because of its characters, because of the world, because of how creepy it can be, because of how this mystery has been set up since Chapter 1, because of how we really want to know, who really are these characters? Where's Stella Graber? Like, what's going to happen to all of these toys? Like, there's so many mysteries that we love, and that's why we love this series. And Project Playtime, it had a little bit of that. There was a little bit of lore around the game, but it wasn't really focused on that. It was mostly a gameplay thing. And again, if you want that kind of gameplay, there are other games that already do it that have way more content and have been doing it for a long time. So Project Playtime was already in a bit of a weird spot, and I really don't know what they could have done to save it, to fix it, because all that time and money and resources that they would have had to put into the game to make it successful, it's no guarantee it was going to work. And so it's one of those things where it's a shame, and I really do feel bad for the people that love the game. I know Nized is very sad about this news. I know he's a big fan of Project Playtime, and I know there's a bunch of people who really wanted Project Playtime to make a comeback. But the other side of this, and this is where I'm staying pretty positive on this news, if I'm being entirely honest, is that I don't think Mob Entertainment felt comfortable doing anything else, doing any other side games until Project Playtime had been resolved one way or the other. They had two choices. Do they pump a bunch of money, time, and dev resources, essentially manpower hours, into a game that already basically failed? Or do we end that game, do we cancel that, and then move on to other projects? Now, I think Chapter 5 was massively hinting that they want to expand the world of Poppy Playtime, and I think that they should expand the world of Poppy Playtime. Look at Five Nights at Freddy's, probably the closest competitor or example of Poppy Playtime. Look at how many games that's had over the years. And, you know, I know everyone has different eras of FNAF that they like the most. Some people like the old Sit and Survive more, some people like the new ones more. Doesn't matter, whatever you like. The point is, FNAF has expanded over the years and now has kind of a little bit of something for everybody, and there's no reason Poppy Playtime can't do that either. In fact, I'm really excited, personally, to see where the story goes from here. Where do Mob Entertainment take this story? And like I say, Chapter 5 was massively hinting that there were other facilities around the world. We know there's one in Tokyo, we know there's another one, I forget where, but there's all these other facilities around the place, and we could have other stories. There's the play park as well. We still don't know where the play park is, but that's another facility. There's so many places that Mob could tell other stories, and that's what I want. I personally want them to tell more stories. I want more story-based, creepy horror games. Whereas Project Playtime was more of a fun, happy party game. It wasn't really tonally in line with the main game, in my personal opinion. It didn't really have much horror there. It wasn't really that creepy. It was more of a multiplayer experience, and that, again, that's fine. But I want creepy. Give me something weird. Lock me in the play park with some toys. You know, like, give me something like that. But I don't think it would be fair of them to do that until they resolved Project Playtime. And now, Project Playtime, whether you like this or hate this, it has been resolved, and now they are free to go on, do whatever they want to do. So yeah, while it's very sad news, we all knew it was coming. We all know it was happening. It's not really, I don't think it's a shock, to be entirely honest. And, you know, aside from a little corporate, like, you know, don't worry about it though, the next thing's going to be better. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm personally just really excited to see what they do with it. I want to see them lean into what made this series great in the first place, and I want to see them really explore that without the constraints of the Poppy Playtime factory, you know, without Playtime Co. HQ or whatever we're calling it now. I want to see what they can do now that they have been given freedom to go and explore other locations with maybe other completely different mechanics. You know, maybe we could get a Sit and Survive Poppy Playtime game. That could be really fun. I don't know. I know we've got rumors. I know we have rumors and we have leaks and we have trademark names and all that kind of stuff. I don't personally know what Mob are going to do next. We haven't been told anything, but I'm excited to see. So yeah, call me a shill, call me a Poppy Playtime sellout, even though I haven't made a Poppy Playtime video since like February. I have reasons for that. Maybe I'll talk about it another day. But that's just my thoughts on Project Playtime. What do you think? Are you very sad about Project Playtime? Do you even care about Project Playtime? Let me know down in the comments below. I do have some videos that I want to do. I want to talk about Alien Isolation. I've got a bunch of videos. I had a really good vacation, by the way. I had a really nice vacation. I started my vacation kind of by accident, and then I started playing Guild Wars 2. And that was like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think I've seen the sun since then. But it's been a great time. But I'm back. I'm refreshed. I have so much energy to create, so I'm excited. I'm here. I'm back. Please don't unsubscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.